Pesci and I'm Fluidmesh CEO and co-founder. In this module, I'll talk to you about Fluidmesh, who we are, what's the story of our company, and what we do. So we started the company in 2005 when we were still a graduate student and researcher at MIT in Boston and at the Polytechnic of Milano in Italy. Now the company operates in more than 30 different countries where we have resellers and customers. We have our headquarters in the Chicago area in Illinois. We have our European headquarters in Milan where we have most of our software development team, and we have sales offices in London, in the UK, in Paris, and in Lima, Peru. Plus we have another R&D office in Taiwan. So why use Fluidmesh? Fluidmesh essentially is a replacement for your fiber infrastructure in all those situations where you need throughput, but you don't want to trench and wire the entire area. So let's say you have a bunch of different buildings where you want to stream video, stream audio, voice over IP, emergency phones, you want to connect a bunch of different networks that are independent in each of these buildings. So usually what you can do is putting fiber in the ground and connecting all your different locations with a fiber optic network. With Fluidmesh, we solve this problem with a wireless network that does not require any trenching and wiring. So we build what we call a backhaul. Point-to-point, point-to-multipoint, and mesh links, purely wireless, license-free at 5 GHz that connect all these different locations to each other and provide a real broadband connection between these different locations. So all these independent networks become just one network with a big and high throughput wireless infrastructure. We work in many different vertical markets. Our technology can be used for video surveillance and security application. We work with many municipalities. We work with many transit agencies, with border control, with campus security. But beyond security, we also do wireless infrastructure for voice over IP, enterprise backhaul, digital divide, rural wireless. We also have a specific solution for mobile applications. When you have vehicles moving at high speed, let's say high-speed trains or mass transit vehicles like buses or ferries, or emergency vehicles like the vehicle of a police department, the cars of a police department, we are able to provide connectivity, broadband connectivity up to 100 megabits per second to vehicles that are moving up to 350 kilometers per hour. That means approximately 200 miles per hour. And then we also do a lot of business in industrial automation with SCADA system, condition monitoring, traffic control, and we work a lot with utilities on smart grid projects, both in the water and in the electric area, and in the oil and gas business as well, where you might need to stream the data coming from a bunch of different sensors. So Fluidmesh products are TCP/IP compatible and Ethernet compatible products. So you're building an infrastructure that is fully compatible with most of the technology that are used right now. So IP cameras, megapixel cameras, voice over IP phone, emergency phones, any type of computer networks built with switches and routers, access control system, and most of the SCADA systems right now run over a TCP/IP network. A big innovation introduced by Fluidmesh is the support for many different network architectures, also called network topologies, with the same hardware. So most of the solutions competing with Fluidmesh require different hardware, different part numbers for the different network topologies. With Fluidmesh, if you have to do a point-to-point link, a point-to-multipoint network, or a mesh network, you will be using the same hardware and the same software. You just change the parameter of the product in the interface. And you can mix and match all these different technologies as you wish, building what we call mixed network that essentially are built by point-to-point links, point-to-multipoint networks, and mesh networks. And then the other very important network architecture we support is the mobile one, what we call fluidity, where we build an infrastructure along the track of your moving vehicle or of your train, and we're able to provide broadband connection to that moving vehicle while it's moving at high speed. So here we can take a look and better understand the different network topologies. So the point-to-point link, just if you have to connect two buildings to each other or two locations. Let's say you have a camera in the middle of a parking lot and you want to stream that video, or you have a remote emergency phone that you want to stream the voice coming from it. Point-to-multipoint networks, the so-called star topology, is where you have a central device that acts as a base station, usually has a sector antenna, and it's connected simultaneously to multiple devices in the field that we tend to call CPEs. And those are the devices that are controlled by the central device, by the central base station. And then we have the mesh network, when you need redundancy and reliability and you want to build sort of a ring topology. So if in case a link fails, you're able to automatically reroute the traffic through a different path. And that's the big innovation that Fluidmesh introduced with its mesh routing protocol. And you can mix all these different architectures in one more complex network. This happens all the time where we work on complex networks, for example, citywide networks. They're always built by multiple point-to-point links, point-to-multipoint networks, and mesh networks. And then in the bottom right corner, we see the mobile solution with base station mounted along the track of your vehicle, in this specific case of this diagram, a train, and mobile devices on the train. And the mobile device, the Fluidmesh mobile device, is able to roam from one base station to the other in less than 3 milliseconds, so maintaining a very high throughput, even if the train is moving really at high speed.